Thoughts on booking Brunson?
Man, you got a better chance believing that a dragonfly finna deliver you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, nigga. I don't believe that shit.
What did Jay Will say? You got a better chance at pissing in a hot sauce bottle? Shout out to Jay Will.
"16 teams, 1 trophy. The NBA playoffs are here, and all roads lead to the finals. Will NBA champions like Jokic and Giannis dominate again? Or will emerging stars like Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum solidify their names in NBA history? The playoffs are where legends are made, and TNT will make sure you don't miss a moment of the action. Tune into TNT's coverage of the NBA playoffs, presented by Google Pixel on TNT, True TV, and Max. Life can be stressful between work and all the everyday ups and downs. From trash talking in the paint to the trolls on social media. It never ends, and it never will. We've all been in our share of battles on and off the court, but we're in a new phase now, and the phase is chilling. The key is to be like smoke and rise above the chaos. Make the most out of the times and choose to chill. We're about making peace, and a case of Coors Light helps us do just that. Consider it an olive branch. Noisy, annoying neighbors? Grab a case of Coors Light and join in on the party. Traffic after work? Grab a Coors Light with some friends. It's easy to get heated, but it's just as easy to make the mountains on the Coors Light bottle turn blue. Just as cold as the Rockies. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/smoke. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. The NBA playoffs are rolling, and we are locked in. Playoff basketball is about buzzer beater buckets, big-time plays, and career-defining moments. This is the time of the year where the stars shine and are must-see TV. So we've teamed up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA, to get you in on all the action. DraftKings has a new way to play fantasy sports with Pick 6. Here's the deal. New customers can play without stress because if your first pick set loses, you get up to $200 in Pick 6 credits with code SMOKE. That's right, new customers get up to $200 in Pick 6 credits if your first pick set loses. Use promo code SMOKE. Here's how Pick 6 works. Pick 2 to 6 players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Lock them in and compete against others for a chance at huge cash prizes. Just download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use promo code SMOKE. The crown is yours.
Welcome back to Unplug, our weekly look around. And Jack, there's some shit going on right now. But man, first of all, how are you?
I'm good, my brother. Can't complain. How you?
Man, I can't call it, man. Just got back from Memphis. First leg of EYBL. Team played really well. Twins played really well, man. Yeah. Excited. I'm getting a coach from my homeboy Moose as well. So
got a really private plane ride.
Man, that was crazy. So shout out Mark Cuban, man. So our flight got delayed out of LA, missed the connect, and then it wouldn't have got us in until after the first game because we had a Friday night game. I'm like, I can't miss my son's first EYBL game. So I hit Mark Cuban as I was sitting in the airport. The motherfucker hit me back in less than 30 seconds, Jack. That's why he stay on this shit. He put me with some lady that connect me to another lady. And shit, an hour later, I'm on a PJ to Memphis, man. So definitely shout out Mark Cuban and his team, man. You guys are amazing. It was a cold call, too. Like, I ain't talked to Mark in a minute. So, man, shout out to Mark Cuban, man. You see why he's one of the best in the game. Before we get to your Iverson Classic that you're heading to this week, reminder to all you guys out there, we're on tour, baby. Detroit, June 3rd. Chicago, June 4th.
Pull up.
You can go to allthesmokeproductions.com/tour for your tickets. Be there or keep being a square. Jack, you're off to Virginia for the Allen Iverson game. You're what, maybe fourth or fifth year doing it.
Yep.
Your son is in it this year, which I think is amazing. Congratulations. I already know what that feeling's like. I'm looking forward to that feeling one day. But just talk to us a little bit about this game. Obviously, you've been a big advocate for it. Chuck is our family. Seen some young NBA stars who are now stars in the playoffs come through that game. So tell me what you're looking forward to most about the game, and then let's go into some of the former guys that have blessed the game.
I'm always excited about this week, Mac. I never thought that, a guy like Allen Iverson, one of the best players ever, would let me be the face of his game, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I basically run the game, but I basically run the game on the ground with the players. But I can't talk about the game without shouting out Bobby and Jai, the founders of the game, the guys who run the game and all that.
Could somebody give me, not to cut you off, could somebody give me Bobby's voice real quick, even if it's someone in the back right now?
I'll give it to you. Matt, Bobby. Well, this year the Iverson Classic. We gonna have it right at Chuck's school. Yeah, it's gonna be at Chuck's. It's gonna be at Chuck's school this year at Bethel. Yeah, I don't know if you've been down to Bethel, but that's where it's gonna be this year. Down at his hometown. Man. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be beautiful to be back in Norfolk, Virginia. All Chuck's people gonna be there. The best experiences though is spending time with these kids, man. So many pros that have come through this game. I've gained so many relationships with so many kids. My son get to experience it this year, being around a lot of these kids before he make his decision on where he going to school. So, I'm just grateful to Chuck and Bobby and them for allowing me to be in this position. And also just to be a part of the game.
Man, shout out Chuck. I mean, he's coming back outside, as the young people like to say, man. He's got a street named after him, got his statue on, the row in Philly. This game continues to grow, man. I'm glad he's decided to come out and play because the world needs him and definitely missed him. Moving on, Jack, they released the trailer that clipped the Donald Sterling situation when I was with the Clippers. Comes out on FX, a show I got to consult on. I wouldn't even call it an EP because it definitely wasn't an EP, but I got to consult. They hit me about some things, but I think they Hollywooded it a lot as well. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Man, they got Ed O'Neill playing Donald Sterling, Lawrence Fishburne playing Doc. Lawrence's hairline was on point. My homeboy Sharunas playing me. He said I was blessed to have him play me. Motherfucker, you my little homie, bro. Don't forget that. But anyway, man, really excited. They cast it well, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how that turns out. That comes out June 4th on FX. Breathe in, breathe out, Jack. For the first time in 20 years, the fans in the NBA will not have Steph, KD, or King James in the second round of the playoffs. Lakers are finished. Darvin Ham, our guy, might be out. Per Shams, obviously he's going to be the fall guy. Jack, let's talk about this Laker team, man. They got out-rebounded by nearly 30 rebounds in this series. Rondo mentioned on our show a while back, the recipe to being able to beat these guys was, kind of having that really big front line that you could throw different looks at Jokic. With all that said, and I'm going to give you your time to speak, the Lakers didn't play bad. 2 big offensive rebounds, 2 shots at the buzzer by Jamal Murray. I feel like if they would have played someone else, we would see them in the second round. You can say what you want about the coaches and the way this roster is built, but they ran into fucking Denver in the first round, and Denver looks really good right now. So what are your thoughts on this Laker team, guys that did step up, didn't step up, the future? Let's get into that.
They had their expectations too high. That's just my thing. I didn't see this team being the team that was going to make some noise in the playoffs and possibly have a chance to win the championship. I knew this team was going to be the team that they were playing in the play-in.
Didn't you say they were your dark horse at one point? I swear you did, because I said I wasn't mad at it.
No. I probably did, but I didn't say the team that was going to win the championship. I said the team that could make some noise.
Yeah, I definitely just think fucking with Denver. Go ahead.
Yeah, but my expectations for them being the championship team wasn't high at all. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I saw the roster they had, and I knew Braun was going to have to be Braun that he was when he had the series against Golden State, when he was having the 40-point triple doubles and on the road at Golden State. He was going to have to be that Braun. I know that Braun wasn't going to come back in that arena. You know what I'm saying? But Braun still was great. You know what I'm saying? He still was putting up Hall of Fame numbers. But he needed help. AD played well, bro, but they just I think the expectations of this team was just too high. Even with them playing as well as they did play, Matt, they still was in the play-in. They still got beat in the first round. So that let you know that team was not good enough. The expectation was too high.
I think one person they thought they were going to get more of than they got nothing out of was Spencer Dinwiddie. And I was a little disappointed in him because where he's been, he's always been able to get you a bucket. And I think that's something they definitely needed. But Jack, I want to take it a little further back. And obviously, because everyone likes to twist shit and stretch shit. When they got Russell Westbrook, not Russ's fault, because the Lakers did what they had to do to get him. Yeah. They ended up having to trade their core pieces. Guys that you need to win games, like the others. Shaq likes to call them the others. You lose KCP, who's doing his thing for Denver. Unfortunately, I think he just got hurt, but he's already won another championship with Denver, core piece. Kyle Kuzma, someone who's on a bad team but did his role for the Lakers, and can get a bucket. And then they lost Caruso too because they had to lowball him due to the Russell Westbrook deal. And we already know what kind of dog Caruso is, probably first team all defense, someone that would have guarded Jamal Murray in this series. So, I look at management, to be honest with you, with some of the decisions they made, whether management means LeBron's side of things or management means Rob Pelinka and his crew. Because, again, this is a poorly constructed situation. They got pieces. They were able to strike gold last year at the trade deadline and add some few pieces that made a run to the Western Conference, and everyone thought, this next year they were going to make a jump. But this is not they got good pieces, but pieces have to fit and gel, and I definitely don't feel like the Lakers pieces gel. This is the first time since 2018 Bron will hit free agency. There's talks that the Lakers want to draft his son, in the second round and possibly keep them there. Darvin Ham is probably going to be the fall guy. He was criticized this season about substitutions, timeouts, X's and O's. He was criticized about everything, but you already know that Laker hot seat is tough. And then any team coaching Bron, the coach is always going to take some shit if we're just being honest. So, Jack, Bronny come to the Lakers, or does Bron leave? I think Carrie Champion, if I'm not mistaken, put something out that said right before the game that she talked to someone, and someone told her that this is LeBron's last game in purple and gold. So there's just a lot of shit out of there. Breathe in, breathe out. The Lakers front office failed them, and Darvin Ham is going to be the fall guy.
I saw something that with Bron. They asked Bron, was this his last game in the Lakers uniform? He said, I'm not going to answer that. That's your answer right there. That's your answer right there, bro. I think he just controlling the narrative and forcing wherever he want to play to draft his son. He said he wanted to play with his son. He has nothing else to gain or to prove in the game of basketball no more. I think anything that he does at this point or wherever he goes is strictly off him wanting to be with his son and guide his son and be a mentor to his son, or be able to say he played in the NBA with his son, because we know he said that before. So whatever Bron do, we going to follow, we going to support. If it's his last game in a Lakers uniform, which I do think, because they're not going to get no better. I don't see nobody going over there. I don't know what they're going to do to make them all of a sudden jump to the top of the Western Conference again at their ages. So, just make the move, go play with your son and do what's best. But he's not going to say nothing until he knows that he's in a situation where he control where his son can be with him.
Darvin Ham, he most likely is done. I'm sure there's some things he would have changed in this process of thing. But you remember when we talked to him, man, that there's no hotter seat in professional sports than the Lakers. And then on top of that, having Bron on that team, I mean, that's every day you're the topic of discussion. So, we wish him well. And if it was his last game, we hope he's able to land on his feet. Again, it's one, the Lakers, two, LeBron. So it's hard to kind of really judge a coach under those circumstances.
Thanks.
Moving on, the former Laker coach, Frank Vogel, and the Phoenix Suns were swept out by Ant-Man. And Jack, before we get into how amazing Minnesota played and Cat played and Ant played and their role players and Rudy played, shout out Ticket. KG saw this coming about 2 months ago when we did Certified Smoke. And I think the whole panel gave him a little shit. At the time, he compared him to 84 Jordan. And now you're seeing all these side-by-side comparisons of him and MJ. But Anthony Edwards has taken it to another level, Jack. And for young players, like I said, I think I said it a couple times, I just had to see it. And right. I'm seeing it, and I believe it. Talk to us. We'll get to Phoenix and the disappointment they had. But let's celebrate the team that won first. Talk to me about Anthony Edwards and this Minnesota Timberwolves team.
Man, they playing like a top team in the West, like they've been playing all year. Like they say, man, he's just different, man. He got a different type of passion, Like I honestly haven't seen this type of player since Kobe. You know what I mean? And that's just being honestly truth. The passion on both ends of the ball, the willingness to win, to just the will to win and force your team, whatever it takes for your team to win, pushing everybody, talking to your teammates on defense and offense, challenging the best player on the other side. Like that's what we want to see from a superstar. So we I think it's just everybody's talking about it, Matt, because we're excited to finally see that. You know what I mean? And you haven't with having great players like Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert on his team, they even stepping back to letting him know, like, you are him, you are next. Yeah, you are him, and they're embracing it, man. I think that's why they're having success.
Also, I mean, with everything you said, Ant averages 31, 8, and 6 while shooting 52% from the field and
My goodness.
43% from the 3-point line. But I want to shout out management. This is a really well-built team. You got Nas Reed, the sixth man of the year. I like Jalen McDaniels. That motherfucker is a dog. He talks
Allen
shit
Iverson
to you.
game, Nas
Yeah.
Reed.
Yeah. But yeah, Nas Reed, he's one of my favorite players. I was selling high on him. If you want to go back and check the tape, I say he's going to be one of the best free agents. And then he was able to re-sign with Minnesota, win sixth man of the year. Jalen McDaniels is a young 6'9" dog on the defensive end who talks shit and got some offense to him. Mike Conley, 16-year, 17-year vet that kind of keeps everything in order while staying in his lane.
True point guard. He probably the last one left.
Yep, saying what you want about Rudy Gobert, but he gets the job done on that defensive end, and he's giving you about 10 to 12 points. So, this team was constructed well, and you're seeing the result of obviously a young emerging superstar in Anthony Edwards and what this team is capable of. On the flip side, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. Jack, I always looked at this team, and I fuck with Book, and I fuck with all three of them. But I always felt like this team was one of them dudes in the gym that only did upper body. Upper body strong as a motherfucker, but they ain't got and they standing on two sticks for legs. Like, they just didn't, again, management didn't build a roster. Shout out Grayson Allen. He was kind of someone who was an other that really stepped up this year, got him some bread, shot the ball well, but he got hurt. But Jack, we all know this team, too many similar guys that do too many similar things. I think they thought because last year when CP would go down, Book would have 4 or 5 game stretches where he's averaging 9 assists a game and okay, he's a facilitator and he has got better at facilitating, but let's keep it real. That was CP's job, getting everyone else involved with that team. And they had, Booker, who's a bucket getter, one of the best in the game, KD, who was one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen, and then Bradley Beal, who's been coming off an injury-riddled last 3 or 4 years, was in and out a lot, wasn't very consistent, but when he's healthy, he's a bucket getter. So no one to get them the balls, no one to do the dirty work, not a ton of role players. Missed Aiden. Vogel's probably going to be the fall guy again. But talk to me about the disappointment with this team.
I just don't think it'll ever work when you got 3 stars and none of them are defenders. As you see, they just got swept by a team that got 3 stars. 2 of them are scorers, but all 3 of them are defenders. All 3 of them are defenders. So it showed in that series. You can't have 3 scorers, 3 great players. They are great players, and they are guys too. But none of them are defensive players. None of them put that effort in on defense. None of them are defensive stoppers. So you'll never win like that, man. Especially against a team like that where you're with other teams' best players might be one of their best defenders. So they need to figure that out. And going forward, if they don't get an athletic player in the paint or get a solid point guard, they're gonna go through the same thing next year.
Well, bro, they're on the books for heavy, heavy, heavy money. Beal and Booker are around 50 or north of 50. KD's north of 49 million. So right there, they're already almost 10 million over the tax. Kevin Durant. So people are saying this is a failed big three. Again, I didn't really like this roster. People say that the Brooklyn was a failed big three, but I just think that was more the injury and all the other shit that was going on outside the court. Because I would love to see this Kyrie that we're seeing in Dallas right now have that kind of energy and availability with those other 2 monsters. But
hey, Matt, I mean to cut you off, but you see what they was doing in Milwaukee before Kyrie got hurt. It was over. Then they still almost won the series if KD foot wasn't on the line. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, the injuries definitely played a part. I don't think it wasn't no bullshit there.
Yeah, huge part. I mean, I think there was bullshit, but it was more about the injuries than actual team. But, this Phoenix team just wasn't very good. It wasn't built well. Jack, what does KD do? He went on the records. Sham reported that he never felt comfortable on his role with this team on the offensive end. Under Vogel, he felt like too often he was relegated to that corner spot. Now, that corner spot is something I loved, something Bruce Bowen loved, something Trevor Ariza loved, but we're not motherfucking Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can't be in. You can't put Baby in the corner. What is that from? Dirty Dancing, for all you old heads out there. Don't put Baby in the corner. But Kevin Durant, that speaks volumes. Putting me in the corner means you're kind of icing me out. Although KD's numbers were great, KD is going to take heat right now because of his moving around and his decisions, which, we're all for player empowerment. Since he's left Golden State, he's been 13-18 in the playoffs. Some would say 2 failed super teams. I think one. And there's still hope for this Phoenix team if they can make something happen, but I don't think they can. The Brooklyn shit, as we spoke to earlier, was just more injuries and availability. He's going to be 36. He's on the books for 2 years, $100 million left on his deal. Breathe in, breathe out. Does Durant finish out this contract with the Suns?
You know what I say, Matt? I'm going to go and start some shit.
Oh, boy.
And he ain't got much time left. Man, go back and finish your time out in Golden State, bro.
Go back to Golden State?
Go back.
How would that work?
Time out there. I mean, shit, it can't get no worse.
No, I'm saying, how would it work from a standpoint of getting them there? It's going to have to be a trade. So maybe
Wiggins,
sign and trade with Clay. Throw Wiggins in there.
You still can keep Clay. Wiggins making 100, and you can throw somebody else in there. Throw Looney in there, man.
Looney, Clay, and Wiggins for KD.
Yep.
I ain't mad at it. I even think, to keep it G, I even think Draymond, I think they would be able to put the bullshit aside because they both know, hey, we need each other to get this shit done. We got one more run. So you think KD, Steph, Dre, and then build some role players around them and have one last run.
And keep Kuminga. Let Kuminga come on in.
No, whoever I forgot about Kuminga. Whoever they're gonna want Kuminga. Kuminga's gonna have to be in the trade because that little motherfucker's nice.
Unreal, dog.
Nice. I like Kuminga.
Yeah, I like Kuminga too.
Before we get out of here, Booker. I don't know how reliable the source is. Stephen A. Smith ain't giving up no names, but Stephen A. Smith said there's birds chirping that Booker wants to head to New York. And that could be scary. Although I really like the way DiVincenzo and Josh Hart play and what they bring to the team. Book and what would be your thoughts on Book and Brunson?
Man, you got a better chance believing that a dragonfly finna deliver you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, nigga. I don't believe that shit. What did Jay Will say? You got a better chance at pissing in a hot sauce bottle?
Shout out to Jay Will.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I don't believe that shit, but hey, that shit would look nasty. That would be real nasty.
Booker and Brunson, that'd be scary.
Yeah,
Scary. And Brunson's already showed, although he's taken a huge step, he can play with someone. He can play next to a superstar. He's played next to Luka.
Yep.
Jack, moving ahead, man. Wolves Nuggets. What are we talking about here? Wolves Nuggets. I'm not mad at either way. I mean, the Nuggets are a fine oiled machine who's been there, but Minnesota has shown they're ready. This is going to be obviously the ultimate test right here. I feel like whoever wins this will come out of the West.
You got the experienced team, the defending champions against the young, hungry dogs, man. So, you know me, I'm always going with the underdog, man. I'm going with the underdog every time. And it's going to be Minnesota. Ant-Man is going to take over the league, and it's going to happen this year in the playoffs.
Minnesota's what, 2? And Denver was 3 as far as seeding? Yeah, so Minnesota's the higher seed, but probably will be the dog in this series. So you're going with Minnesota, huh? I like that.
Yeah, no disrespect to the Joker, man. I know the Joker.
I'm not mad.
Hey, Matt, let me say this too. Every time I watch Jokic play, he go up high on my list by the game. Bro, not by the year, not by the season. He's going high up on my best center of all time list by the game, bro.
Bro, he's incredible. Absolutely. Speaking of, he's moving up by the game. Where you got him at? Is he in your top 5?
He is in my top 5.
Let me hear your top 5.
I got Shaq. I got Akeem Olajuwon. I got Kareem. Then I got Joker.
Who rounds out your 5?
Wilt.
My man. That's all monsters right there. We're seeing a changing of the guard. As I mentioned, this is going to be the first time in 20 years that LeBron, KD, or Steph haven't been in the second round. It's a new day. Luka, Joker, Giannis, although he's hurt, he's in the conversation. Ant-Man is the front runner. SGA out there in Oklahoma City. Jason Tatum quietly doing his thing out there in Boston. And then the young boy Wemby in San Antonio. Out or on the way out are KD, LeBron, and Steph. So, obviously these guys each probably have a few more years left. Maybe Steph may have the most years left. But it's when I say that, it chokes me up a little bit because it was a hell of an era of basketball and championships and greatness that those 3 players particularly brought us. And it's not done. it's not done, but we definitely have seen the changing of the guard, man. So definitely want to shout those three legends out, Steph, KD, and Bron. We got a couple more years with the man, but I hope fans have cherished the minutes and the days and the games we have left with the man, because those are three of the greatest to ever do it. Jack, with that said, for the next 5 to 10 years, who are your three? And you can only give me three. Who are going to be your three guys that are going to be the face of the league?
You go first.
I'm going to take Ant-Man first. I'm going to take Jokic second. And I'm going to take Luka third. And that's tough because I'm leaving out SGA. I'm leaving out Wemby. I'm leaving out Tatum.
That's crazy.
But I'm gonna go with those three. And I'm going to put Ant. And I'm saying that Ant is the best. Obviously, I think Jokic is probably the best player in basketball right now, for really being honest with ourselves. But Ant-Man is, to me, will be the biggest face, because he has the personality, the energy, the antics, a fun, charismatic, young superstar. Jokic's game speaks for itself. And then Luka is a motherfucker. So who are your three? You got my three. Who's your three?
I'm going 1A, Ant-Man.
I like the 1A.
1B, Luka. Man, I'm going Ant-Man, Luka, and Wemby.
No Jokic.
I got 9. Hold on. I'm going Ant-Man, Jokic, and Luka. Damn, dog. I'm going Ant-Man, Jokic, and Wemby. I hate to leave Luka out, man. And SGA, man. I'm tripping, man.
I'm not even. It's tough, man. All we can say is the league is in good hands. Obviously we listed a handful of players, but there's a lot of other players who are definitely going to be doing their thing in the next 5 to 10 years. But man, it's an end of an era. Jack, if any of these three we've mentioned, KD, Bron, or Steph, Bron 4 rings, Steph 4 rings, KD 2 rings, what one do you think could possibly get one more ring before they bounce?
I honestly don't feel Bron is going to see another one in LA. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they'll be able to put the right team unless KD go to LA. The only way I see KD and Steph get another one is if they partner up again. So I would have to say KD and Steph if they partner up.
I would just say Steph, from a standpoint that he has the most solid foundation, structure, management, to make things happen, whether that's bringing KD in or someone else in. I would give that, because we've seen unfortunately the Lakers front office hasn't done a very good job. And again, I don't know if that's Bron's influence on bringing people in or Rob Pelinka's decisions. And then we see what's going on in Phoenix and the debacle over there. Jack, stronger era, the West in the 2010s or the West now?
Well, I mean, you got to think. When you're talking about the West back then, you had Kobe and Tim Duncan. So
KD,
all the champions,
Melo, Nash, Dirk, CP, T-Mac.
Yeah, but Kobe and Tim Duncan was winning all the championships.
Facts.
It was coming through the West. Now, I mean, Giannis done won one. I think the West still dominant. I don't think it's as dominant as it was back in the day, but it's still dominant. I still think it's the most dominant conference.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the West still. Although the East has a lot of talent. You look at who's eating during these runs, and as you said, between Shaq and Kobe, or Kobe and Tim Duncan, no one ate during those runs. It was San Antonio and the Lakers. Steph had his run. Yeah, Giannis got one. But it's been the West Side and the West Coast.
Bron won two on the other side too.
Yeah, true. My bad. I totally did forget about Bron. But
no, 3. Excuse me, 3 on the other side. On the East.
Oh, he did. 2 in Miami and 1 in Cleveland.
Yeah, he won 3 in the East.
So 4 in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
The other 16 are in the Western, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, someone can go back and try to correct us, but
no, Toronto, Kawhi.
That's not going. There's 5. There you go. See, I see that mushroom brain is working right now.
Yeah, baby, I'm telling you, I got to keep popping them boys.
That boy's cooking.
I wish I had them when I was in school, bro. I would have passed that test. I would have to take it 13 times.
I believe it. Jack, moving on, man. Stephen A, and he's our guy, but Stephen A has been out here wilding of late. Would
Oh my
you even
God.
call it that?
Yeah,
Starting off with,
I'm not gonna use the word I want to, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, starting off with said blacks in America can relate to Trump because of the how he's being harassed and arrested and all this kind of shit, which is wild as fuck. And then he tried to go back and correct us and tell us what he said, or what he didn't say, but everyone heard what he did say, and the shit was so outlandish that motherfucking Shitlock agreed with them. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Stephen A just have a diss track on Whitlock like 3 months ago? Like, he got this nigga agreeing with him now, defending him, agreeing him. He was looking for a little rope, and he found it. He also said, called the league office the other day, and this one, Gilly posted this, and this one hurt my soul, man. Like, he called the league office to see why Russell Westbrook wasn't suspended. And that just don't sit right with me. And he's a journalist, he needs information. That shit was just weak to me. So we're going to get to Jalen Rose in a second, because that's another friend of the program. But Jack, Stephen A. Smith of late, what's going on with our guy, man?
One, the reason why my main problem with a lot of people, and especially with Stephen A. when he say stuff like this, Matt, if you was on the corner with 10 brothers in your neighborhood, you wouldn't have said that. You wouldn't have had the balls to say black people relate to Trump. You wouldn't have said that in front of your people, in a room full of your people. You said that on TV because you're comfortable there, and that's the narrative that they want you to pay, because somebody probably told you to say that. Bro, I'm not the most intelligent person, but I told you I'm first team common sense. That's why you say these things on TV. So that's why people look at you funny and don't give you the respect. Everything that me and Matt will say on here, we'll say in any barbershop, on any corner, in front of any setting, in front of anybody, because that's how we truly feel. Nobody's telling us a certain thing. So that was the weakest thing. And on the second thing, Matt, you don't work for the league. What make you think you got the power to call and get somebody suspended? So you opening more doors to thinking now, okay, the times where you done went on TV and spoke bad about me and other players, you called and put your vote in to get people suspended. Is that what you saying? Like that's crazy that you would openly say that. And hold on, my little brother, I love you to death, but you agree with that, Perk, and you a player. You know better than that. Just imagine if you was playing and he called the league when you got into it with somebody, Serge Ibaka or somebody, and they saying that, and he called and saying, well, I think Perk needs to be suspended, taking money out your pocket and your family. That's crazy, dog. That's the weakest thing he could have ever said on TV, Matt. Back-to-back days.
We don't know what he said, or if he said that he thought they should have been suspended. I didn't see that part, but I agree. I think the Trump shit was wild and outlandish, but if I'm not mistaken, he's doing some stuff over at Fox, and I don't know if that was there or if it was on ESPN or where it was at, but that shit was weak. But the Westbrook shit hurt my heart for a reason. Like, it stung because, yeah, for just a lot of different reasons. I just don't think that's something, is in the playoffs, star players, someone like Russ, who's taken so much bullshit from the media to begin with, he's out there and playing his role on that team. He went from superstar to now he's out there being the whole plugger, the dirty guy, the shit that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. That's his roles now, and he's adapted to that role. So for him to kind of go over there and do that and make that call, that shit just didn't sit well. And again, I mean, Stephen A. is our brother. And Jack, I think that's why this era is so dope, I feel like, in media, because he used to just be able to say that and let the shit ride. And no one could say nothing to him because no one else had platforms. And again, we got a lot of love for Stephen A. Smith. We don't fuck with Whitlock, but I got a lot of love for Stephen A. I fuck with Stephen A. But sometimes he says some shit that's just like, come on, bro. You know better than him.
I come from under the old law. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's people that I grew up with that came out of jail that I know that snitching that I ain't fucking with. He a snitch. You snitching, bro. You called the league and told it, nah, fuck that, man. You called the league and tried to get that man suspended. That was the league decision. You don't do no shit like that, bro. You don't do no shit like that. That's the weakest shit ever. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not fucking with him no more. Y'all can be your homeboy. I can't fuck with no shit like that, dog. Russ is my partner. And, I'm one of the people that's been going to bat for Russ. I didn't hang with Russ. Me and Russ never went out to eat or nothing like that. I'm standing up for Russ on some real nigga shit. That was the weakest shit he could have ever done, was call the league and ask why somebody not suspended, dog. Fuck that.
Jack, I'm not even mad at your stance, because a lot of people feel the same way. A lot of people.
And don't edit my shit today.
You know, Dylan was already putting red lines on this shit. Jack said, "Let this motherfucking shit roll, Dylan." I see Dylan in the back laughing, shaking his head. Dylan, let that shit roll, goddamn! It's all the smoke. Unplugged,
Like
all the smoke. Hey! I think we let it fly. Come on, man. Like this is his
Shit,
opinion.
man. Fuck that, man. My bad, man. I had to let that out, dog. Fuck that.
Our brother Jalen Rose has something to say too. And obviously, Jay Rose is our big homie, someone who was in the ESPN family for a long time, 15 plus years, if I'm not mistaken. But he had a post, and I don't know who it was to. There was no names on it. You guys out there can fill in the blanks. Jack, read what he said, Jack.
Since day one, I'm so grateful that I chose to put on for my culture, ride or die versus being a media coon. It doesn't pay as much. I always get historic views, but living in and having my hometown on my driver's license is undefeated. Blessed. I can remember, well, when I first met him, when I walked to ESPN, the first words he told me, Matt, and I remember it verbatim. Do the job. Don't let the job do you.
Shout out to Jay Rose. Has always been one of the real big homies that's going to straight shoot you. He's worked for the company and done the company thing, but he's always been a nigga. Like, for real,
Yep.
Will always look out for y'all. So I definitely got to say that about him. We don't know who he's talking to. We're not trying to talk no shit, but we could just tell, again, this is why I feel like media's in a good space right now, man, because you don't have to live or die with any one opinion, any one person, any one network, any one platform. Like, you could digest and see where you get in fit in. And again, Stephen A. Smith, I think he's tripping right here. But again, I still got love for him. And I respect your point of view for not. But again, like I said, it used to be his way or the highway. And it's just not that way anymore. So I love that there's other platforms and other voices that are getting out here and doing their thing. And, man, that's why media is beautiful, man. Good luck to Jay Rose.
No more hood hopping. Pick a side. No more hood hopping. Fuck that. Them days over.
Jack, getting out of here. The reason why everybody is going crazy, man, it's been a crazy 2024. The music landscape has kind of set the vibe and the energy. Obviously, Cat Williams went on Shay Shay shit and kind of opened the door. We've been dealing with the Puff shit, and then 2024 we've been dealing with the big three in the rap game. And our brother Kendrick just came back with something this morning. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh. Man, Drake, I got to give a lot of respect to Drake because Drake has been battling Ross, Future, Metro, Kendrick. Like, Drake has been and probably taking some shots at motherfuckers we don't even know because they took shots at him. So I got to respect him standing. He came back with the AI and Pac. He came back with the AI with the Pac and Snoop, and Pac's foundation didn't like that shit. I'm sure him and Snoop probably had a offline conversation. Kendrick came back with some shit this morning. Jack, where are we at? What's going on right now? I love it. As long as it stays, let me say before you have your thing, just keep it on. Just keep it entertainment. You could talk your shit. Just keep it entertainment. But go ahead, Jack.
That ain't
good for the
happen.
game. It's good for the game, Jack.
Yeah,
it's good for the game, though.
We all want that, but you know how niggas are.
Oof.
Hey, but check this out. I'm just sitting here, getting ready to work today. And Dylan, we talking about the working in the rundown. He sends it to my phone, man. So this is how I'm sitting. I'm just sitting there smoking, chilling. By the time I'm midway through the song, I'm going crazy. Like, I haven't really paid attention to this rap beef stuff because I don't think none of these songs are really, like, okay, maybe the Metro one in the Future, that was a battle beat. I can't listen to somebody talking about you singing and slow. So I just didn't see too many songs sounding like battle rap that I grew up on, Ice Cube and listen to all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is the first song that feel like it's beef, and Kendrick took it there. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't the biggest Kendrick fan, but I am a big Kendrick battle rap fan. And he killed this shit. Dylan has really made, when he made my day. I wasn't this turned up to do the show until Dylan sent me that this morning. Bro, he said a lot. You got to listen to that at least 20 times.
I haven't got the smoke on it yet because I got the shit as I was dropping the twins off, and I was running late, getting back up to the house and getting ready. So I got to hear it twice, but I haven't even got the smoke on it. But absolutely.
But we can do that after the show.
Yeah, I'm going down Ventura like, ooh. Like, I wish and hope and pray because this is good for the sport of rap. I feel like, as we get older, we don't really necessarily, and it's all due respect with that younger generation, we don't really get down with this. But this is the kind of, these are our guys. These are kind of the wave we're on, that 30, 35 and up wave. And these dudes are all great in their own way. And I hope that they can just keep this for the sport of it. And it doesn't have to spill over, because, again, I think it's great entertainment. It's got us talking about music, and we ain't done that in a while.
Let me give them some information, and hopefully it'll help where it can stay in the studios. For all the guys that's hanging around, the actual guys that's rapping, we don't need y'all input. Y'all not rapping. Y'all not saying none of the words.
So they ain't got nothing to lose.
They got nothing to lose, so we don't need y'all to jump in and try to be famous. Let the rappers rap, and y'all stay out the way and keep the peace. There's always one flunky that want to prove himself, and then nobody don't need you to prove nothing, dog.
Peace.
Roll up some blunts and sit down somewhere.
Peace. All right, man, before we get out of here again, June 3rd, June 4th, we'll be in Detroit June 3rd, Chicago June 4th. Go get your tickets. allthesmokeproductions.com/tour. Can't wait to see you.
Can't wait.
Yeah, looking ahead, we got our brother Rich Paul that drops this week.
Yes, sir.
Definitely looking forward to that. And then we're off to Miami. You're on the move. So you're going to Virginia tomorrow, and then from Virginia you go to Miami?
Yeah, I'm gone for 2 weeks. The Allen Iverson game, then Miami for All the Smoke, Dan Lee Batard, and Fight Towns, baby. We back, B!
Fight Town. Tell the fans about Fight Town. What you got going on with Fight Town? I'm glad that it's back.
Fight Town's the boxing show that we started at Showtime. We're bringing it back here with All the Smoke Production. Shout out to BD. Shout out to Rose. We're going down. We're going to talk to some boxers.
Shout out to Espinoza.
Espinoza for sure. Roy Jones. We're going to go down there and holler at Roy Jones, Benavidez. Just try to catch him with some of these Miami boxers, man, and get back in the game.
We coming with All the Smoke boxing, too. We got some good people under the hood, some legends, some Hall of Famers that we're going to be
All the Smoke fight.
Also, MMA. We're coming with some MMA shit, and we got some. We're blessed. It's blessed. We're blessed. Man, you guys can catch this on All the Smoke Productions and the DraftKings Network. We'll see y'all next week.
Shout out down to Tarazzi. 3 days in a row.